June is ALS Awareness Month. Also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, this rapidly progressing motor neuron disorder attacks voluntary muscle control and is tragically fatal for most of its victims. I would like to particularly salute the work of Blair Polischuk, a photographer and ALS sufferer who is encouraging all those with ALS to contribute as long as they can. This month, he is publishing a book of his photographs to help raise awareness. It is acts like this, big and small, that will bring the attention needed to one day find a cure to this terrible disease.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, more commonly known as ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. It affects about 2 in 100,000 people. Blair Polischuk lives in Union Bay on Vancouver Island and is living with this disease. And to mark this month of awareness, he has released a book of his life's work. He has compiled his photography into a free book that is now a top download on iTunes. For his work, Polischuk was acknowledged in the House of Commons earlier this month, and we've reached him this afternoon. Good afternoon, Blair.
Hello, Joanne.
Why did you decide you wanted to use your work as a photographer as a way to promote awareness?
Well, as an artist, I saw it as an opportunity to leave a legacy, potentially inspire other artists who may be facing a similar challenge. But I also found the act of compiling the work and putting it together into an e-book to be really therapeutic. As I sort of rounded the corner into the acceptance stage of this thing, poured a lot of heart and soul into the book, and saw it really as almost like releasing a double album of music for free, of course, in this digital age. The book consists of 46 of what I felt were some of my strongest images over the years, all black and white, shot on film, handcrafted, old school, and also a lot of writing in the book. The opening monologue, entitled The Sound of Light, I speak to the parallels between the creative process of photography and music, speaking as a photographer and musician, and the impact that digital technology has had, both positive and negative, on photography and music. And then at the backside of the book, I acknowledge some of the people that I've had the privilege of working with through the disease. I call them angels, people that have helped me out. And then a final word to my son, Max, who is a budding musician, and we're in the process of dismantling my darkroom and turning it into a recording studio for him.
Now, Blair, you're dismantling the darkroom, and you talked about how there was some therapeutic aspects to putting this book together. At this stage in the disease, are you able to continue with your photography?
No, I've got what's called upper limb onset, so I've entirely lost the use of my arms and hands. My neck muscles are very weak, and you might be able to detect it in my voice, but my chest muscles and diaphragm are now affected, and so with that, my breathing is compromised. So no, I cannot produce photography any longer.
So that must be, so that's the first thing you've had to say goodbye to is your passion for photography.
First of many.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, when you take your arms for granted, I was thinking about this earlier today. You're sitting and watching a movie and you get an itch. You can scratch that itch. Well, if I'm sitting and watching television by myself, I can't deal with that. Laying in bed and you want to change position or adjust something, you can't do it. It's very surreal to lose the use of your arms and hands. And ALS is such a disease that the progression is slow yet relentless.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very surreal. And with that comes a psychological component as you try to come to terms with the disease and its progression, because it does not present the same in everyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Some people it starts with their legs. Some people it can start with their speech.
Mm.
I'm fortunate in that I still can talk and eat and swallow, but my arms are done. So little things like hugging my wife, petting my dogs, driving, skiing, flipping the pages of a book, using a computer now. There's devices that I'm using to overcome that, but it's really been quite something.
How old is Max?
12.
And how does Max feel about this?
Well, he's lived and been witness to this since the start,
Mm-hmm.
and he's 12 going on 18 at times. I think he's an incredibly bright child, a very gifted musician and composer, and so he has seen and lived, with me and my wife, and has seen the slow progression of the disease, and he's blown me away. I mean, he's told his kids, his students about it at school. He's quite open about it. He doesn't feel ashamed about it. He's helping me. He prepares a fine gin and tonic at 5 o'clock. And we are now working together on his music, which is very therapeutic, with me sitting in the producer's chair and him working on his compositions. So we're spending some quality time together, and that's really what I'm trying to leave behind for him is, you never know when you're going to get dealt a card like this. And ALS is not a disease that you can fight. And I've been quoted on TV as saying this a few weeks ago, but you have to live with it. You have to roll with it. You have to literally take it a day at a time, and Max is living it with me. So I'm immensely proud of how well he's taken this.
Does it help to be turning your darkroom, which was your passion in life, into a music studio for Max, which, by the sounds of it, is one of his passions in life?
I think it's incredibly appropriate. It's almost meant to happen. I mean, the final paragraph in my book, says to him something to the effect that, may this creative sanctuary inspire you as it did me. I spared no expense in the building of my darkroom, and any of my students who have been in this space can attest to the fact that it's probably the nicest darkroom on the island, if not Western Canada, and is truly a beautiful space and will lend itself perfectly to a creative sanctuary in which you can create music.
You speak of, you called them, I think, your angels, others who are living this experience with ALS. As you've come to know more people who are living with this disease and not fighting this disease, as you say, what have you learned from them?
Gosh, that's a tough question, because everyone's at a different stage in the process. I've encountered through my Facebook page, Blair Polischuk, artist, on Facebook. We're starting to get messages from people who are just got diagnosed and are in a much different headspace than I am. And then we've got people who have turned the corner and are into the acceptance stage and are inspired by my story and are getting strength from that, which is really the purpose, in doing this is, don't just roll up in a corner and wait for this thing to play out. Contribute while you can. As artists, we have a gift to be able to create work that is permanent and is a legacy. And, I consider this a real gift to be able to share this work with the world, and to have people like Bryan Adams write an opening quote, or John Sexton, Ansel Adams' personal assistant, write a quote for the book, and Bruce Barnbaum, my mentor, and Canadian photographer Freeman Patterson contribute a line or two, and then Justin Trudeau stand in the House of Commons and acknowledge it, and have that entered into the Hansard book for all eternity. It's all quite surreal, and I'm very grateful to these people to what they've done to help get more eyes onto this book.
Now, there is no treatment for ALS at this stage. What gives you hope as research continues?
Well, we're moving into the scientific realm here, and
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but I've done a bit of research. What gives me hope is the fact that they can recreate this thing in a lab. Okay, they can watch it. I even read somewhere they can listen to it. They can breed rats that have it. There's some very exciting things happening in the area of stem cell research. 2 sites in the world that are undergoing stem cell therapies where they're extracting stem cells and giving them specific instructions on what to do when they're reintroduced to the body. So, they're getting close. I wish there was more communication, more continuity among the various people in the world that are doing the research, and I believe they are working towards that, where they're going to start sharing information. We're getting close, but these things take time, and this is a very elusive disease. And when they open the door, when someone finally cracks the code to this thing, it is going to open up a Pandora's box of other stuff that is going to lead to cures for Parkinson's, MS, Alzheimer's. It's elusive, but I believe it's the holy grail of medicine right now.
Blair, thanks for the book, and thanks for the conversation this afternoon. It was great to talk to you here on the radio.
Likewise, Joanne. Take care.
Bye-bye.